Today's final lesson for 2020 is about magic. What if our intention for life was to make magic, or even better, to appreciate the magic that life truly is? So let's start with the definition of magic. So according to the dictionary, the definition is the power of apparently influencing the course of events by using mysterious or supernatural forces. So one thing we know for sure in this teaching is that we definitely have the power to influence the course of the events of our lives. So the coolest part of that is that there's nothing about it mysterious or supernatural at all. The power we use to influence the circumstances of the course of our lives is that we purposefully use and direct the law of mind to create a magical, joyful, and enchanting life. So I was looking up different pieces of wisdom about magic and using the word magic in quotes. And there's an American philosopher, he's a physician and he's an author, and his name is, I'm going to mess his name up, but it is Dabashish Rada. And he reminds us this. He says, deep down in my heart, I always keep smiling because life is such a magical, mysterious, and wonderful thing. But if we're going to have that kind of a life, if we decide we're going to have a magical, enchanting, and wonderful life, the important part of having that is we've got to hone our ability to see life as such. Because life is magical all by itself, right? It's enchanting, it's mystical, it's awe-inspiring, but we've got to choose to notice it and see it that way. So the question becomes, what do you consider enchanting about your life? Where do you find yourself feeling awe? What feels magical to you? So personally, I think it's magnificent and magical that we can connect with other human beings. We actually can connect with all beings, animals, people, whatever. Whoever crosses your path, you can connect with them. And I've had a couple of kind of magical interactions with animals at zoos, believe it or not. They're really interesting to connect with, even in their habitat. So interacting with all of nature is actually part of that magical essence of life for me. I love feeling the rising sun when it warms your skin as it comes up. There's great magic and awe in noticing that every single piece of a flower is balanced and in order to make it beautiful. It's hard not to be inspired by the passing of the seasons and the changing of the weather, the position of the stars and the planets. I don't know if you had the opportunity to go out and see Saturn and Jupiter in connection with each other, but that was magical to me to kind of see something that you won't see again for years and years. I love the magical appearance of a rainbow in the sky. It just appears. It's beautiful. I love it especially when I'm needing kind of a message that everything's going to be okay. But the point is that we can all open ourselves to be thoroughly awed by life. Life itself, every single day, that is our opportunity. So I welcome the magical essence and I joyfully participate in creating it for myself. I also find it amazing that we have the power to sort of shapeshift in life. Because we can use our minds as the doorway to our emotions, and we can shift ourselves from one experience of something to another. Without even changing our physical position, we can shift. We can start off being frustrated by something, whatever it is that's unfolding, and then wake up to that fact that we're being frustrated, and we can shift. We can decide to take a different perspective, shift into a mindset that releases that frustration and opens us up to appreciating whatever it is that's unfolding and create an entirely new experience of it. So I'm going to give you a recent personal example. So many of you know that I went to Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. I traveled there to see my daughter, but one of the things that I was really looking forward to was seeing my younger brother. I haven't seen my younger brother in several years, and so I was looking forward to that. And we had spoken a couple of days before I left and made a plan and arranged everything so that we could connect. And early in the morning, when we were supposed to be together, I texted him and confirmed the restaurant or where we were meeting at and all of that. And I got a text back from him that just said that he decided he didn't want to see me after all. And I had planned my entire day around this particular meal, right? This particular connection. So if you know me, you know that was very frustrating for me, right? And as the morning went on, I kind of felt myself getting more and more kind of bent out of shape about that. Like, how could he do that? How could he cancel at the last minute? But something inside me kind of woke up. And I realized that I was wasting a precious day in the city that I love, that I don't get to be there very often. I was wasting it. So I decided to shapeshift. I decided to change my perspective. So I picked up my phone and I texted him back and I just said, you know what? If you change your mind, let me know and I'll figure out how we can get together the next time I'm up here. Merry Christmas. It's send. I let it go. And so instead I decided to go on a hike in one of my favorite state parks up there, take my dog, and we just enjoy the outdoors. Abracadabra, right? Actually, that's the title of my talk this morning, Abracadabra. Did you know that abracadabra is another way of saying and so it is? And so it is. In Aramaic, it translates to, it is created by my word. Abracadabra. So perhaps we should say that. We'll teach that to Remy, to say at the end of every abracadabra. But the important thing about changing something, about changing anything, is to have a new idea about it. I had to have a new idea about my day in Atlanta if I was going to shift that. I needed to get a new idea to wake up to the beauty of the day, the possibility of the day. And there's a magical quality about creating a change that we wish to see in our own experience. Our souls know all about the relationship to the divine and creating change in connection with the divine. Our souls get it. In his book, The Magic of the Soul, Reverend Patrick Carbula writes about this spiritual force that we use. He says, recognizing that spiritual force, the magic of each individual soul is present and active in every experience. Through daily practice, people can dramatically change how they respond to life's challenges and infuse the direction of their lives with greater peace, fulfillment, and meaning. Someday I'm going to teach the course, Magic of the Soul, based on Patrick's book, because it's a really good course. So you see, we're not magicians using like smoke and mirrors here. We're not. We're metaphysicians using principles and laws and using the power of our minds as connected to the one mind. That's what we use. And we do get to experience magical lives, but it takes practice. That's what Patrick said, it takes practice. Just like a kid. Have you ever seen a kid who decides they want to learn magic? And they have to practice, and it's not really good at the beginning. It's like, okay, well, I saw that change, right? So they haven't kind of gotten it, the illusion. But they practice and they practice and they practice. And we also have to choose how to use these principles to shift our lives by practicing them. Because this intelligence is for everyone, not just a special few. It's for all of us. But in order to harness it, we've got to practice it. You've got to decide that you want to live with this mindset more than you want to struggle. You have to decide to let go of one mindset before you can accept another. Ernest Holmes says, God is infinite intelligence, and as much of that intelligence is available to us as we are willing to accept. So why do you think that we aren't willing to accept more? What tends to happen is we pick up people, we pick up circumstances and habits and thoughts and beliefs along the way that just become our way of living, just become our habit. Our lives become very routine, and we have a pattern that is sustained by our subconscious mind. And we tend to recreate the same situations over and over and over. And if you happen to have a pattern that you want to sustain, then you got to figure out what the beliefs and thoughts are that are supporting your life the way you want it to be. And if you have a pattern that you wake up and you don't want that pattern anymore, maybe you find it stifling or discouraging or less than magical. It's time to figure out what is it that's holding you in place in that pattern. and release those things so that you can create room for something new in your life. So this is the last Sunday of 2020. And I think it's a very good time to take a look at what we might want to release before we cross into the new year. You know, I know there are plenty of times in my life where I've faced a new beginning in my life without having properly released the thing before. Whatever it was that was ending, I didn't quite end it before I started something new. You know, I've started a new creative interest before I've even cleaned up the mess from the last one. Those creative people in the room, you know who you are. There's a whole mess there and you still start something else. And I've certainly crossed the threshold into a new year without having fully released the prior year. I say cross the threshold because I use that phrase a lot, because the new year is a threshold moment for us. A threshold moment, a moment that's ripe with the possibility of some spiritual magic, right? You see, humanity understands the power of crossing a threshold, that threshold moment, and this necessity to pause before crossing a significant threshold and take to assess what it is that we want to take across that line. That's why at this time of the year we kind of look back and we remember, you know, who do we lose in this year? Those who made their transition. We remember the headlines and the major events of the year. We think about the year as we finish it up. And we pause to set intentions for the new year, resolutions if you want to call them that. It's a threshold moment. We don't want to pass through quickly. This threshold moment is an opportunity to let go. Letting go of the past and moving into the now with a new start is a powerful way to kind of pass through that threshold. So this morning, as you see, we're going to have a spiritual experience together. It's a releasing ceremony. It's simple, but it can be absolutely transformational, especially when you have a need and a willingness to let go of emotions, such as fear or anger or resentment or regret, or a willingness to kind of release repetitive patterns or suffering of our past experiences. Forgiveness and release, those are very spiritual, life-affirming practices. They're so liberating. So this releasing ceremony can help you let go of old hurts and grudges, regrets and suffering, and to relinquish anything actually that has burdened your minds in this year. If you don't want it to travel into the new year, this is your opportunity. So in this ceremony, we write down on that little piece of paper whatever it is. It may be a number of things that we want to be free of. And then when you place the paper in the bowl of water, the water in the bowl is symbolic of purification and transformation. And this water takes that paper and changes it from one form to another as it completely dissolves it. The ceremony is about taking responsibility for your own life and changing it. It facilitates change, taking us outside the patterns and experiences that have us stuck. Marcus Aurelius, he was a Roman Empire, he said, life is what our thoughts make of it. Life is what our thoughts make of it. So today is an opportunity to release thoughts that no longer serve us. Thoughts we've held in 2020 that we don't want to carry into 2021. You know, Paul wrote about this ancient kind of universal truth in Romans 12:2. He said, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Renew your mind. Let's enter this ceremony as a renewing of our mind. Let's release whatever no longer works for us, whatever is holding us back. So we write down that which we want to release in your lives. So I'm going to lead you through an exercise. You've got two pieces of paper. You've got a bigger piece of paper and you've got a small translucent piece of paper. And as I go through this kind of meditative experience with you, I want you to write on the big piece of paper whatever you want to write. You can write a lot down, whatever notes, and just save the small piece for the actual ceremony. And you can close your eyes as you listen to this meditative experience, or you can keep them open if you feel comfortable and you want to write as we go. So I'm going to ask Lori to start some music, some like light music underneath everything to kind of set the tone. So everybody's got their papers ready and their pens. I just invite you to just settle. Just go ahead and close your eyes and just turn your awareness to your breath. And allow your breathing to kind of center you in this moment. Settle into your chair. Allow yourself to just be fully present. And imagine that you are standing in a long corridor that leads to a door. And this door is labeled 2021. There's a moderate amount of distance between you and the door, and it's time to start walking toward it slowly and deliberately. As you walk towards the door, imagine for a moment about all the things that are beyond the door, just waiting for you to arrive. Just open your inner mind and heart and allow Spirit to flood you with a powerful vision for your new chapter that starts on the other side of the door. What is in store for you? What experiences are you anticipating having in the new year? Think for a moment about everything in your life right now, your home, your physical body, your relationships, your creative expression, your career, your financial situation. What is Spirit's highest and best for you in the year ahead in all of those areas? And as you begin to get inspiring and holy ideas, imagine how it will feel in the new year to experience these fresh things. Now, as you keep the new year in mind, and as you keep moving toward the door, take a moment to consider what you may want to leave here, on this side of the door. What in your life right now does not support these higher and better visions and ideas? You realize this is your last opportunity to sort through your things before carrying them through the threshold into the new year. For you are responsible for the weight that you carry, and you know you want some new experiences in the new year, so what could you possibly release now in preparation? So let's focus on health. Is there a habit or a pattern that you would like to release in the area of your physical health? Is there a belief about your body that limits you? Is there a resistant thought that no longer serves you? Is there some fear about your health that the pandemic has allowed to rise up in you that you now want to release? As you consider your emotional health, are there triggering situations in your life that do not support your emotional stability and freedom? Are there thought patterns that keep you stuck in resentment that you could release? Has this year of isolation challenged your heart in ways that you want to leave behind? And let's turn to relationship. Is there a relationship that's run its course in your life? Is there a pattern within a relationship that serves neither person and needs to change? Is there old stuff that needs to be forgiven and released? Maybe there are beliefs that hold you in a relationship that you could release in preparation for letting a relationship go in the year ahead. this year of separation highlight anything about your relationships that need to be let go of? And your home. What do you desire to be different in your home? Is there a conflict or friction that needs to go? Are there belongings in your home that can be released for greater freedom? In the area of prosperity, are there worries about your financial health that limit you, especially in this year of economic uncertainty? Or do you have habits that no longer reflect who you know yourself to be as an abundant child of the divine? And your time. How do you spend your time? Is there anything that could be left behind or changed to open up a greater avenue of expressing something more powerful? Do you spend your time in ways that serve you in the world? Is there anything off balance in this area of your life? Perhaps activities that numb you or isolate you? Remember, as you consider what to release, you have the power. Actually, you have the responsibility to make better choices if you want to live a happier life. And as this whole year runs out, we've got to move on and live in a new way. We get to choose. And as we know, each and every circumstance and relationship in our lives is there for a reason. Some lesson we are learning or concept we are exploring spiritually. So let's say to ourselves, I no longer need the lessons that these feelings, these things or circumstances would teach me. If I haven't already, I vow to learn these lessons in a different way that feels better and opens my heart. So let us begin the water ceremony. Each of you have that small piece of dissolving paper. So please use this special paper and not another piece of regular paper. And there's extras lying on the chairs around if you need one and you can't find yours. So on this paper, you're going to have a brief time to write words that symbolize what you wish to release and let go of in this threshold moment. Look back over your notes and capture those big words that will help you release yourself from the things that hold you back. The act of writing down what you want to have gone through your life is a very important part of the letting go process. As you write words or symbols, you're inviting Spirit to step into this process with you. And once again, there's great power in doing this. And after you've written down whatever you want to let go and release, then spend a moment in quiet prayer or meditation by way of personal commitment and surrender. If there's anything holding you back, just kind of become aware of what it is and let that go as well. Because healing at any level requires release. It requires letting go and surrender. And so write your words or draw your symbols of release. Most religious traditions have understood the element of water as the great purifier, that which washes clean and makes new. It is the teacher of the mysteries of life, death, and wisdom. All forms of water are compassionate healers, relieving actual and metaphoric thirsts. Water in our lives is a power of purification, the healing balm of compassion, and the mystical presence of creativity. So this bowl of water serves today as our purification pool of water. And as you watch your paper dissolve, as you commit your concern to the nothingness, let it go deep within you. There's someone you need to forgive, bless that person, wish them well. In every phase of their life, blessing stirs up the positive creative forces in you and helps clear away any negative thoughts residing in your subconscious. Feel the sense of release And as you depart the bowl, just say to yourself words such as, I am free, I am unlimited, or I now move on, I release the past forever. You could even say abracadabra for that matter. Just breathe lightness into your heart. And to continue my theme of magic this morning, I brought my symbolic magic wand to kind of stir the water as you place your papers into the bowl. So I open this cleansing and releasing bowl with a quote from Ernest Holmes. He said, "There should not be any sense of hurry or worry about this, just a calm, peaceful sense of reality. Let the law work through and express itself in the experience." So when you're ready to let go of everything into the water, feel free to come forward. There's great power in doing so, but come forward one at a time. Let's honor the social distancing. And just one by one, place your paper into the water. It'll just dissolve. And let yourself release and complete 2020. I'm going to meet you there and know with you a consciousness of complete release. So before I close the ceremony, I've written 2 words down for the center. The first word is uncertainty. You know, we've had an uncertain year of 2020. All of our plans were different than we thought they would be. Our ministry is it's thriving. There is no uncertainty. In 2021, we move forward in certainty. And the second one is separateness. I release any idea that anyone might have that it's necessary to be separate, or there's an idea of separateness. No matter where our community members are in the world, they're a part of us. There is no need for separateness. And that when all of this is done, we're whole, just as whole as we are now, but we're whole in this room. So I release those things on behalf of the center. Will you join me in prayer? What I know is that this moment is a holy moment. That this water symbolizes the perfection and the purification of the divine. And I know that the spirit that infuses this bowl is that of healing and wholeness. And that anything unlike that is dissolved into the nothingness. For God is present in this moment. And it shows up as each person, but it also shows up as wholeness and healing, as love, as joy, as abundance, as fearlessness, as strength. And everything that is represented in the releasing of these words and these symbols is the divine. And as we let go of anything that blocks that, we are flooded with a miraculous expression of that which we desire. And so I join each person here in knowing that all of it is done, all of it is gone. And unless we pick it back up, it's over. And as we cross into the threshold of this new year, we do so with hearts full of love and anticipation and joy. And our lives reflect that each and every day. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for this opportunity to pause with my spiritual family and cross this threshold together. I'm thankful for each person that is here. I'm thankful for the feeling in this room of love. And so with overflowing gratitude, I let this ceremony be done and complete. We all let it go, and we say together, so it is, and so it is.